So somewhere between the thumbtacks and the light tubes, I realized Melody didn't love me no more, which was hard. But before that, we're in my car. It's a 91 Thunderbird. I bought it for $300 in Michigan. We're driving down State Line Road between Indiana and Michigan, and I love her. Now, some of y'all might be young. Y'all might just be on the apps. Before the apps, you had to develop crippling alcoholism to meet a woman, which I had done. I went to a rehab in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I only learned two things there. One was no relationships for the first year. I wasn't doing great at that. The second one was don't smoke meth. Killing it. Killing it. Put it on the resume. Doing great. Me and Melody had spent 3 months together every day. We were the very annoying couple who was constantly holding hands or touching each other, which I recognize now as annoying, but as a 19-year-old I thought was pretty cool. Melody was 35. She was a little bit more cultured than me. And I'm a hooligan from Holyoke. So she had taken me to some places I'd never been, like museums. She worked at an indie movie theater. I saw some terrible movies. There were some decent ones, most of them bad. I went to see the Vagina Monologues twice, which is a record for a kid from where I'm from. It was fine. So after 3 months of this, Melody had decided that it was time for me to pick an event. And again, I was raised by wolves in Holyoke. So I talked to my friends, who were also idiots, and I came up with a plan. And we're in my car, and we're driving to a baseball field in Elkhart, Indiana. It's the RV capital of the world, so you have a trivia fact to take home with you. I hope that means something. On the way there, she's asking me where we're going, and I'm saying it's a surprise. I had thought you had taken me to art stuff, so I'm going to take you to the type of art I like. Now, I'm going to need you all to do me a favor and not be judgmental. Let's commit to that. Give it a second to sink in. Okay, so I took you to a wrestling event. Some of you are liars. Some of you are dirty liars. You should take this home with you. Okay, so if you know wrestling, like Hulk Hogan, yeah. So there is a subsect of wrestling called deathmatch wrestling, which I don't like that. Which is like regular wrestling, but everybody bleeds. So we pull into this baseball field, and this very classy woman who I still hadn't figured out why she was hanging out with me is perplexed. There is a half put together wrestling ring in the middle of this field, and it's my people there. Everybody is in jeans and a shirt, nothing matches. It's the greatest place in the world. So we get to our seats. She's uncomfortable. It's metal folding chairs in the middle of summer in Indiana. It's not great. But we're still holding hands, so I think I'm still in the game. The first 6 matches are basically the same 2 white guys wrestling. I think they have different names, but they all kind of look the same. And I think they were all Zach. Felt very Zacky. And you know, it's not so bloody, so she can get into it, right? She doesn't get into it at all. I keep looking over at her and going like, eh? And then she keeps looking at me and going, and we do this for about an hour and a half. The main event of this event is, at this time I work in a steel mill, and if you've ever worked on the paint line of a steel mill, which I bet you haven't, you work very closely with the person next to you. The guy who works really closely next to me, his name is Bobby. Bobby wants to be a pro wrestler. Bobby's not the smartest guy in the world, but Bobby did teach me an important thing, which is if you start smoking, you get an extra 15-minute break every day. I was 19 when I started. I'm 38 now. It still gives me some extra breaks, so kudos to him. Bobby's 6'3", 130 pounds, not the most athletic-looking guy in the world. He is wrestling a guy named Tank. Tank is 5'10", 350 pounds. They are having a potluck match. And the way this works is every 10 minutes you reach into a bowl and you pull out the name of a weapon and then you hit the other guy with it. All right, there's that judgment again. And so if I remember the order, it goes baseball bat, thumbtacks, light tubes, barbed wire, glass. And my friend is in there. So 2 things are happening to me simultaneously. Melody is not enjoying me anymore. And we have stopped holding hands about 2 matches ago. But my friend is in the ring, and this is a morality tale, right? He's the good guy, Tank's the bad guy. They're hitting each other with stuff covered in blood. Certainly not hygienic, again, a field in Indiana. They're just bleeding, though. I am like riveted by this. I'm watching one of my best friends like live out his dream. How often do you get that? The end of the match is Bobby wins. Yay, he's the man, the man. I take Melody back to the parking lot. My car looks a little worse now after realizing she's not into me, and we drive back on that state line road. We get to her house. Me and Melody had never said goodbye to each other. And for this time, we do. And it's the last time. I never talked to Melody again. I think it was the blood. I hugged Bobby, so I'm covered in blood too. And I can't tell you how much I love this person in 3 months, but I think that at the end of my life, I'll think about Melody. That's what that meant to me. The epilogue to this story is, I get about a half mile up the road in this 91 Thunderbird, and she finally goes. So I gotta walk 6 miles home, covered in blood, knowing this girl ain't gonna talk to me ever again. But I'm from Holyoke, so I made the best of it. I smoked my cigarettes and got there, and I still walking, smoking my cigarettes, getting there. Thank you for your time.